Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, the Senate Minority Leader, Dr. Robin Titus, joins us. She's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to welcome back to the program the State Senate Minority Leader, Dr. Robin Titus. It is a pleasure to have you back on the program.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, you are very welcome. Thank you for being here at 7:30 in the morning. Let's start out with where can the governor and the Democrats work together? What do you see as the places so that we avoid 75 vetoes this session?
Well, I think one of the major opportunities for good legislation is in healthcare. I think there's a lot of healthcare needs, and I think that's something that we're going to have to cooperate with. And so I think we start there. Education's another one that I think we can work together on. Some of the other issues we may be further apart.
Okay, let's talk about education. Over $2 billion in the last session. What are you looking at in terms of what's reasonable for this session, and understanding that it takes a long time for money to flow through the system to get results, but do you sit and wait to see, down the road, or do you need to do more things now?
Sam, that's an excellent point about it takes time to see results. In the this is my sixth session, and at just about every session except for the last one, we always saw a change in who the superintendent of schools was. We have had consistency now, and I think some of the programs that we started, we need to give them a chance to see if they work or not. We certainly know that the teacher pipeline bills that came out has helped. We certainly know that some of the pay raises has helped. Now we need to make sure that it flows into the classroom when we see outcomes for our students. Are they graduating at a better rate? Are they getting jobs at better rates? Are they going off to school and doing well there? That takes time to see.
Medicaid, I should say, funding. A lot of discussion on the federal level, concerns on the state level that we could be short $1.9 billion. I personally don't think it's going to be anywhere close to that if it happens at all. What are your thoughts?
Well, we've had a lot of discussions since our very first budget hearing when we started in Las Vegas. It's a lot of discussions, and there's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in the Medicaid and Medicare system. And I think a lot of folks don't know the difference between the two, and they use them interchangeably, and they are not at all.
Sure.
Of course, Medicare is for the seniors. It's our Social Security. I'm on Medicare. Medicaid is a state programs to help those that are on our Medicare that are younger. So we see it for children, we see it for moms, we see it in long-term care facilities. The thing that happened during the COVID years is we had what's called a Medicaid expansion, where we included in the Medicaid rolls childless adults, which had never happened before. Our state chose to join that. There were 12 states who chose not to, so they're not in the same situation we are, because now if we're rolling back on Medicaid, what the federal government does and allots for us, we're going to look first at the childless adults. Doing some research, we have found that many of those folks are people who are actually working. So we're looking at people who work for Walmart. The biggest Medicaid enrollees are Amazon employees, and then we have the state of Nevada employees, and then we have Walmart employees. And so looking at some of those folks, indeed, they may be removed from the Medicaid rolls when the cutback is, because one of the things we don't want to do is cut back. Most of our births are through Medicaid. Many of our moms and children are on Medicaid. Those folks really need those services. And I'm not saying that childless adults don't. I'm just looking at, we better look at how else to pay for them.
Okay, but what kind of savings would you have if you were to cut those people?
Oh, it would pretty much, I feel, cover. We know that when we had that 40%, we had a 40% rollback in the Medicaid enrollees and after post-COVID, and then when we had a kind of a readjustment and 20 of them came back on, we are looking at millions and millions of dollars in savings. And so having said that I think those has to be our priorities if we are going to cut back. And again, we don't know, right? If we did, it would be $880 million is what the federal government would impact our state. But that was over a 10-year time, so it'd be $88 million, and so we could find those savings.
Okay, so you don't have a concern about that?
I think.
I mean, obviously, you're concerned about money. But.
Right. There's a difference between concern and reality, right? And there's been a lot of talk regarding what ifs in the world. We have to pass the balanced budget. We can't wait for the federal government. We know that they kicked that can down, and they already that can down the road. They continue to do a budget adjustment. We have to balance our budget. Not only do we have to balance our budget, we have to leave 5% in there. So we're going to have to operate under what we know at the time and what we have in the bank at the time. We're not seeing absolutely any cuts right now. Some of these programs that they're proposing, some of these budget allocations that are not necessarily needed. I, for one, will try to protect Medicaid as best we can during this budget process because we don't want to see any cuts to Medicaid. Will we adjust who's enrolled in Medicaid? Perhaps. Will we look at some of these other budget items like the film tax credit? Absolutely. These are things that we need to sharpen that pencil and say, well, maybe we can't do that this year. And so, but Medicaid would have to be a priority that we protect.
You bring up the film tax credit. It's a huge amount of money. What do last session it didn't make it, but a lot of people at the legislature really enjoy all these movie stars coming into the building and having their photographs taken with them. But we were just talking to the speaker on our previous program, and he was saying that even like the state of Georgia, where you see on almost every movie, there's a plug for the state of Georgia because they do have these fundings for the film industry, but they're not making that much money. So when you look at that, how do you feel?
Yeah, thanks for that question.
Kind of abatements.
One of the ironies of this whole session is the Democrats have been hammering Trump and Republicans about possible reductions to Medicaid, but at the same time, they introduce a $150 million transferable tax credit program for the film industry. Now, if that's not irony, I will tell you that will cover our Medicaid things, our costs. So my feeling is, you will never see me in a picture with a actor, actress, because I'm just not Star Trek. I mean, starstruck. I just really feel we need to focus on Nevada and what's best for Nevadans. We know that the analysts that I have been talking to about what these numbers bring back, there's a lot of data out there. Right now, according to the folks that I respect when it comes to economic revenue, their figures say that for every dollar invested in the film credits, you only get about 50 cents back. We just cannot justify that. So in my mind, that's kind of DOA. And the fact that they would even introduce it, knowing that we're going to have to look and make sure that we take care of our folks, is just beyond belief to me that they would even introduce it.
The idea of transferable tax credits, a lot of people don't understand what that means, but it's a big deal because companies like Tesla have used these transferable tax credits to have a positive balance sheet because they sell off the tax credits to large gaming corporations, for example. Not that there's anything wrong or illegal about that, but it's just they're not even using those tax credits. They're using them as a way to help their balance sheet, but also to help these other Nevada corporations.
Right. Well, I will tell you, Sam, I have never voted for a tax credit, transferable tax credit, because you're picking winners and losers, and they actually make profits and money, and they do sell those off, and it's just wrong. And I worry that that's exactly what's going to happen here. So I don't believe that we're going to see that move on, and I'm disappointed they'd even introduce it this session. However, it's a conversation they're having, and for me, we need to bring it back to making sure our teachers can continue to teach in the classroom, making sure we make sure that teacher pipeline is there. We want to make sure we have money for our healthcare needs in the state of Nevada, and to even have that discussion is something that is still, I'm in shock that they're doing it.
Okay, top of mind for healthcare needs. What's on your mind as far as what the most important thing is?
Well, a couple things. First, as we've already talked about, Medicaid. But there's other things too. The reciprocity for a lot of occupational licensing is a priority. We don't have enough nurses.
Meaning that if you come from another state or even another country, that you have the licensing there, that you would be qualified here.
Great. Not so much another country unless you've done the standard and your license here in the state. So if you're licensed in many occupations, physical therapy, social work, psychology, emergency medicine, doctors, dentists, if you're licensed and in good standing and to the same criteria that we license in the state of Nevada, you should be able to come to the state of Nevada and at least get a temporary license until you can jump through all the hoops on our licensing board. And I've been on the state medical board. We know that we have a lot of good docs that we would be welcome in the state of Nevada. And getting some of these bills passed so we have a healthcare provider shortage across the board in the state, from nursing to lab techs to x-ray techs, all of those things. And so what my interest has been making sure that Nevada is a welcoming state. We're a good state to live in without a state income tax. We should be welcoming folks to live here. And so some of those things we're trying to get passed so that we can fill some of these gaps. Nevada grew, as you well are aware, in the last decade, we grew so much that we didn't keep up with some of these professional licensure. As we all grow a little bit older, you and I both, some folks that are growing older.
Well, I am, but you're not.
I know. I would say that we need the healthcare providers here in the state. Now, from the state level, we have produced more nursing programs. The schools have expanded. Our medical school in UNL at University of Nevada, Las Vegas has expanded. The one in the north has expanded, plus physician assistants have expanded.
And
but we're
pharmacy.
still not keeping up. And pharmacy, dentists, but we're not keeping up with the population growth.
But we never have.
That's not necessarily true. When I was
really, because when I first started in news, it's 40 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Mental health was the biggest issue, that we didn't have enough money for mental health.
Right.
And doctors were not in great supply in the Reno area, for example.
Well, I know I was in the second four-year graduating class at the University of Nevada in Reno, and I graduated from medical school in 1981. So I'm an old doc, been around a while, and we're continuing to be a little bit behind in this whole thing. Anticipating growth is a really hard thing to do, and the need for professional licensures and occupational license is a hard thing to predict. So we have to do better. We're falling. We can't climb, and we're not getting anywhere with this. Now, during COVID, we've had some policies that really did help us keep pace with that, and that was one of the things, like the nursing compacts and those kind of things. And so I think we need to look at that and try to provide for our citizens.
And telemedicine, I mean, are we going to continue to see that grow?
Yeah,
or does that concern you?
Well, I think telemedicine is just a resource. It's not a solution. For me, as a provider, there's something about seeing a patient in a room, actually touching them, listening to them with a stethoscope, watching their behaviors, and just knowing that they know I care is really critical. And a two-dimensional TV, looking over on a flat screen, it's really hard to get that same kind of confidence. Now, there's certainly things in the rural areas that you can have a check-in with your provider. It happened. I know lots of people use that, but it can't replace, in my mind, ultimately seeing your provider in person, regardless of what that profession is.
And I don't disagree on that, but it seems to me that from my own personal experience, that there's an efficiency that has grown greatly.
Huge.
Where the technology has been helpful.
Right, absolutely. Even in we use it at South Lyon in Yerington, where you could put a stethoscope on the patient, and then the provider can hear that. So you can go, kind of lean on of the hands, and so looking at your. As a matter of fact, talk about telemedicine. For Christmas, in my kids' stockings, I put a otoscope in there that has a digital otoscope, so that they can send me pictures of their grandkids' ears, and so now they, instead of having to drive down to see me, they can put the otoscope in the ear and send me a picture and say, "Hey, Mom, do I need to come and see you for this ear infection," or whatever it is. And that's telemedicine, really. All the stuff that we're now digitalizing is amazing in healthcare.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back with Dr. Robin Titus. She's the State Senate Minority Leader right after this timeout.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Dr. Robin Titus. She's the State Senate Minority Leader. Ending daylight savings time, having just changed all the clocks in my house, Lord knows we need to have less clocks. But is that going to happen in this session?
It won't happen this session. I don't see. I had a bill from the Senate side, and Assemblywoman LaRue Hatch put one in from the Assembly side. I was told mine was not going to get a hearing. Just straight up, the committee chair said they're not going to hear my bill. So I did sign on. LaRue Hatch and I had an agreement way last summer that whoever bill went forward, we'd sign on to the other bill. And so I think it's time to do it. I've been on calls with Assemblywoman LaRue Hatch with other states, many states on the West Coast. On this particular call was a representative from Washington, representative from Oregon, California, Utah, and then somebody from Arizona who never changes. And so, I mean, I think it's getting some momentum. Trump says he's 50-50 on it, that whether you stay on standard time or whether you stay on daylight time. I think that's where the riff is, not so much that we want to lock the clock. I think everybody agrees that it's time to do that. We know from a medical provider aspect that it's probably best to stay on standard time, and that's where I'm pushing more to stay on standard time than to switch to daylight. Everybody thinks, well, we need more sunlight. We're not changing the rotation of the sun. The amount of sunlight will still stay there. I mean, people give me way too much credit, that I'm going to change the
You
amount
are
of daylight.
one powerful woman.
Yes, and I tell them, no, it's going to be the same amount of daylight wherever you are. But we know for just sleep cycles, depression, and some of those things, even my dog doesn't like it when we change because she thinks we should feed her at a certain time, and when we change it, it's like, okay, we're off. But I think it will come eventually. It's just pastime, frankly. But it really probably should be done at the federal level. I actually had a broadcaster reach out to me, very concerned that this was going to affect how they set up their live programs, because they do adjust when it changes. And if we were the only state that does stand on it, then all these programs are going to be off. And so I think it's something not nationwide that has to happen.
I have so many comments on that last thing, and I'm not going to say any of them. Pay raises for legislators. Some of us have been around long enough to remember the 30% pay increase that was suddenly reversed when everybody was going to get thrown out of office, which in fact they eventually were.
Right. Well, frankly, we know what we get paid, actually don't get paid when you run for office. It's very clear. We get, and your viewers may not know this, but unlike the federal representatives, even county commissioners in the state legislature, we get paid 60 days only. We're elected
out of 120.
Out of 120.
Which is absurd.
So we only get paid the first 60 days, and then we do not get paid after that. Certainly we can get mileage, and certainly we can get some cost of living, but other than that, we do not get paid after that. And so a lot of us lose money to be here. But I think that's something that we need to let our constituents know, that we're not here making money on the taxpayers' dollars. We're here because we're representing Nevada. And so I am not for getting a pay raise. I think my poor old constituents are living on their fixed incomes, and I think their cost of living is going up. I don't even get a living expense, because you only get a living expense if you live 50 miles or more. I live 49 miles away from the Capitol. I drive back and forth every day. Somebody said, well, take the longer route. And I tell people, listen, people make up stuff to come after you about. I'm not going to purposely feed them that. I'm honest as the day is long. At 49 miles. So, but for me, I mean, I know it costs a lot of folks a lot to be here, and I respect that. So I know everybody in that building wants to be here for the citizens of Nevada. I'm not for anybody getting pay raises.
More with Senator Titus after this time out.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Dr. Robin Titus. She is the State Senate Minority Leader. Toll road for Sparks as an experiment in toll roads, but a very necessary road to get out of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center and into Spanish Springs. You in favor of toll roads?
We have to be able to pay for our roads somehow. Right now, we know that the fuel tax, the cars are running better, so they're using less fuel, and we know that the electric cars do not pay for their cost of their fuel or the roads. And so how do we pay for our roads? We know that other states have toll roads. Just had to go to a meeting in California this last summer. They have those automatic things. They pick up your license plate. I paid my toll road. I'm paying for the roads I'm in. I think that's fair. I think if you use it, you should be able to pay for it. So we have to figure out something.
You know that sound that we're hearing right now? That's Mayor Lawson applauding of Sparks. Senator, thank you so much for doing this. As always, we'll see you again before session is done.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll be right back. She's got to run to a committee meeting.
Sorry. I'm out of here.
We'll be right back.
Fantastic cocktails and delicious food.
It's a good time to eat.
Over 500 hot slots, plus electronic table games.
It's a good time to play.
Player rewards and big-time jackpots.
It's a good time to win.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, come to you from Carson City, from the headquarters of the Nevada Builders Alliance. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching.